Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be looking at the second progress report of Godsend development. Frankly, I did not expect for this one to come out so quickly, but development's been going smoothly, and I have a lot to show you guys today. Just like last time, remember that the graphics in this product will not represent the final release at all. Everything here is simply placeholder, and all demonstrations are for mechanical purposes only. With that being said, let's jump in. All right, the first big system that we're going to be looking at is the inventory. So this is already fully synced with the server and client. It's exclusive to your client, same as before. It works as it should in multiplayer. So opening up the inventory here, we get a pretty basic inventory. It's still a placeholder, like I mentioned earlier, but it does have a few key mechanics that I've coded in that will be there even in the final release. So when hovering over items, you get a little tooltip. If we take a look, we have two equipment items here. One is a basic sword, one is a funny hat. They have unique descriptors as well as rarities attached to them. They also have stat values, which I'll show later, but for now they're reflected just fine in the side panel right here for debug purposes. So let's click it and equip it. As you can see, it goes onto one of the equipment slots, and my stats have changed from before. If you notice that, you can also notice my inventory is changing as well. And if I right click, it will unequip them and put them back into my inventory. I can close my inventory with the press of B as well. With respect to the inventory system, there are also new ways to acquire items, and use them of course. So I've made these two little chest placeholders, which for now you just run into and receive the items. So I can open up my inventory, and you see them pop up. They're non-equipment items, so I gave them little numbers since equipment items won't stack. But I had a boss drop here, so this chest uses the same loot table as one of these enemies over here, so we'll see that later. But we have a boss drop with its own rarity, all that stuff. And then we have a usable potion. If I use it, you can see my stats increase, and I use both of them. This will be important later. So you can now acquire items from drops and pickups and all that kind of stuff. Getting further into the systems, there's also some setup you can do before battle in order to set up your character more accurately to what it will look like in the final release. If I press another button on my keyboard, I have a list of skills that I can choose from, which is created when I open the menu, so it can change at any time. Right now, I've just defined 5 attacks, just 5 skills really, that could be changed whenever. If I click on these, they can assign to a little skill bar here, and I can put them in whatever order I'd like. I could right click one and remove it from the thing. I can even double up on skills and sort of duplicate them. It really doesn't matter. Essentially, you can just assign your skills however you'd like, and it'll appear that way in battle. This button here, just a simple drop down for now, allows you to select your formation from grids 1 to 6. This will be changed later to be a visual representation of the grid, but for now, this is functionally identical. So I want to appear in the bottom left-hand corner of the battle grid. So I'll select 6. When I close this, it updates all my active skills and gets me ready for battle. There are a few new things to check out, so let's look at them. Okay, going into battle here, you'll notice that I start in the back, away from the enemy's telegraphed attack that I still have the same as last time. And you can see that my skill bar properly represents what it should be, and my attacks do more damage than before. This is because now attacks scale off of the enemy's defensive values as well as your offensive values. So there's a damage calculation system that is in effect that takes from your player's stats, enemy's defenses, and whatever modifiers may exist. Those modifiers from equipment, items, and potions can also affect things like move speed and attack speed. So this will be very modular down the line when visuals are implemented, and things like swinging your weapon take some time. But for now, let's finish this with our lethal strike skill, which you can see is ordered exactly as we set it up before, with the skills now having names. My lethal strike scales up with my new stats and does a lot of damage. And then after beating the boss, I've set it to drop the same stuff as the chests. So now we have multiple items here. I'd also like you guys to notice that if I look in the console right here, you can see that the player leveled up to level 2. This is a system that right now I don't really have any visual feedback of it, but there is a internally tracked player level, as well as enemies now have XP that they drop that can scale up with whatever modifiers that I'd like to add. So there is a functional XP and leveling system in the game that can also require weapons to have certain levels and all that kind of fun stuff. And for now, that's all I would like to show you guys. It is just showcasing new inventory and skill selection systems, and most of this change was done on the back end. So there's not a ton that's visible here, but there's a lot of new logic and a lot of new databases that are going in and out of battle, preserving your data, adding drops, making items do stuff. This is a very big step for the game, and I'm glad to have shown it to you guys. I'll see you next time.